this computer. Okay, so good morning everybody and welcome. This is obviously the information webinar and Q&A webinar on the amazing Sacla scholarship opportunity. I'll just get up the agenda for us, bear with me. Okay, go to the correct slide. Okay, so we'll do welcome and introductions briefly. We'll have a look at who working options are, Sacla, about the scholarship, how you apply and the criteria. The lovely Amber will talk through her experience of the scholarship that she took part in and how it is now working at Sacla, and then Q&A. So for those of you who are kind of new to Zoom, in your screen at the bottom, you will see a chat function and a Q&A function. So please use either of those to ask any questions that you want to. You can do it anonymously as well if you feel more comfortable doing that. So don't worry about that either, but please do ask away. Feel free to ask as we go through if there's something that pops in your head, and we will get to it in the Q&A section. But yeah, to do kick us off, introductions. So I'm Lauren from Working Options, co-founder and head of operations, so I do a bit of everything, and I'm looking after kind of the working options side of the scholarship with Sacla, and yeah, I'll be able to answer some of your questions around how you apply initially, etc. And then over to Claire.
Okay, I'm Claire and I'm the Managing Director of Sacla here in the UK. I've been doing this job quite a long time, as I'll share with you later on. I think I'm really pleased to see you all. I can't actually see you, but pleased that you're all here this morning, because you tick the #1 box, and it is so good in life to be curious. And you all curious by being here this morning. So well done you, great first step.
And Mary?
Yeah, I'm Marianna. I'm Italian, and you will notice from my accent. I've been with Sacla for quite a long time, and I'm responsible for new product development and the legality of the product, everything linked to the technical area. Yeah, and I look forward to a good session this morning to tell you more about the scholarship and Sacla.
Thank you. And Amber?
Everyone, I'm Amber. So I just graduated from my degree in the summer, and I actually came through doing the Sacla scholarship myself, and I'm now working with Sacla as an MPD and technical assistant, helping out Marianna with anything that's needed, basically.
And just for those of you who might not know what NPD means, it's new product development. So quite an exciting area to be in, actually, because you guys have influence over what products you make and what you make next, right? So looking at what things are coming up and trending, and
absolutely
testing, lots of taste testing.
Yes,
yeah, lots
of tasting.
So,
before the lockdown, we used to go out to restaurants to see what were the new trends. So it's very interesting and exciting.
Amazing. Okay, so let's go back to my share screen. Okay, gang, so as you can see, that's all of us that we've just introduced ourselves. So who are Working Options, gang? Working Options in Education is a life skills and employability skills charity, and we try and help 14 to 19-year-olds primarily realise their full potential, and we do this in a number of ways, and we have a website. We come out to schools and colleges and run sessions, bring in volunteers like the guys from Sacla to talk to you about the food industry, and also, you know, some of the key things that are important when you're thinking about joining the world of work. And I just want to play this video for you from some of our beneficiaries to talk to you about what the impact of Working Options has had on them.
Hi, my name's Farhan. I'm 24. I think the biggest benefit of the working options program for me was the level of confidence it helps you instill. I think looking back at myself 4 or 5 years ago, I was quite a shy and reserved individual. And the opportunity that the program gave me by getting into a work experience placement showed me that I had a level of skill and capability that I didn't really know about until I was put into that environment itself. And I got to speak to some of the guys at Working Options who showed me what was possible, really. And I think you don't really see that when you're at school or college. I would recommend every young person who's got the ability to access the Working Options program to take part. The team who run the program are some of the wisest and most networked people you will ever have the fortune of meeting. It's an excellent opportunity for you to develop some skills and springboard your professional career.
Hi, my name's Rachel and I'm 22. I've just finished my 4-year degree in food science and nutrition at uni. I first got involved with Working Options at college, and the whole experience has just been so valuable to me, especially in the terms of work experience. I found it difficult at college to know what to expect after education. It's really given me direction in what I want to do in the food industry and has just bridged the gap between what I knew about the world of work and really what it actually is all about.
I started my journey with Working Options when I was around 17. What they were doing was filling a gap in what I wasn't getting in the classroom. The reason why that wasn't something that I already had was because I come from Luton, and so there isn't that many people you can sort of go to. Working Options gave me access to that knowledge, but it was more than that. They also gave me access to mentors who I could ask questions firsthand. Those mentors have helped me right through my journey from when I wanted to ask questions about how I could be doing better when I was at Google, or even through the application process and so on. And even now when I'm fundraising to take my agency through to the next level, it's the same people that I met 9 years ago when I was working with Working Options who are helping me and giving me that hand up, which a lot of people from a similar background to me don't necessarily have.
My name is Amina Banzari and I'm from Cardinal Newman College in Preston. We got told from 3 different perspectives of what it's like in the working industry and how it is to get to the top, starting from the bottom. It also showed me that you can do anything. As long as you have that self-motivation, self-belief, you can get where you need to get. Recently, I just had an interview for Morrison's, and I've had many interviews, but I think this one was the one that I was not nervous in at all, because I went in there with my head held high and I knew that I wanted that job and I was going to get it, and luckily I did get that. It helped me understand that no matter what I do, no matter where I've come from, I can do what I want.
Okay, so there's just a snapshot of, you know, some of the things that we can help you guys to do as students, and Sacla, you know, have been an amazing support as part of that, and it's a real privilege to be working with them again, and for you guys to be given this amazing opportunity to get the work experience, to get, you know, some real support financially during your university career. And I'm now going to hand over to Claire. So I just need to get up Claire's slide. So bear with me a sec, gang, while I transition to those ones. Come on. This is where, there we go. Okay. So Claire, I will just get the slides up for you.
Thanks.
And if you tell me when to
Brilliant, fantastic. So this is a lovely picture of Secondo and Piera Ercole back in Italy. I'm not quite sure when it was, but it certainly looks like an old photo, doesn't it? They're our founding grandparents, and they started the Sacla story back in 1939 when they took a look at the world around them and decided to preserve by bottling all the vegetables, all the surplus of the fruits and vegetables that were growing so abundantly in this very fertile region of Italy. And they've now, well, they started a business that has now is transitioned to the 3rd and 4th generations. So we're still a family owned and family run business. And it's their granddaughter, Chiara, and her cousins that are running the business today. We're based in a place called Asti. Some of you may know it. It's famous for a sparkling white wine called Asti Spumante. But it's in the northwest of Italy in a region called Piemonte. And that's where we make all our products. Everything that we sell is made in Italy. That provenance is a really, really important part of our story and of our brand. We're just building a new factory, which is very, very exciting. We're starting moving towards that. The factory that we are currently in has been around since 1939, and we've outgrown it really, mainly because the business has expanded so much. We're now in 60 countries around the world where you can find our famous sauces. And the UK subsidiary was started back in 1991. Was the first subsidiary, and there are now subsidiaries as well in France, in Germany, and in America. And the rest of the world is covered by distributors, so third parties who sell the brand for us. I met the Sacla, the Ercole family, back in 1989. I was a lot younger then. I find it quite incredible, really, to think that most of you that I'm talking to won't even remember 1989. But for me, it was an amazing moment of transformation. And they asked me to start their UK subsidiary for them, which was just the most amazing opportunity and a brilliant time to do it. Can we have the second slide, Lauren, please?
Yeah.
So these were the two main products that we decided to launch with. Again, you won't remember, but you may know that in 1990, the World Cup football was being held in Italy. So we had football fever here in the UK. A really famous opera singer called Luciano Pavarotti was singing out Nessun Dorma. And the British people kind of fell in love with anything that was Italian, whether that was fashion or cars or football or opera. And so it was a very, very good timing to launch the product in that particular moment. There were no, I mean, you'll find it quite incredible. There were no pasta sauce or pasta aisles in the supermarkets in those days. You could buy spaghetti in very, very long packets, but that was it. And if you wanted to buy olive oil, you'd go to Boots the chemist and you would buy a small bottle of olive oil because it was used for medicinal purposes. It was something you put in your ears to help with earwax. You didn't eat and cook olive oil. So it's been an incredible 30 years in terms of how food has changed here in the UK. So we launched with we launched these two products. We also launched a third. We launched a creamy pesto as well. So we had three products that looked like the Italian flag, and we trundled off and sold them to the supermarkets. We've got 16 different pesto recipes today. So we've got aubergine and coriander, and there's vegan pesto and free from pesto, and there's big jars and little pots. So I'm sure you're probably familiar with at least one of the products, but it shows how, we've created a range now so that there's a pesto for everyone. And it means that we are the brand leader in pesto. We have over 50% market share today. We also make other products now too. We make pasta sauces, so tomato-based pasta sauces with whole cherry tomatoes inside them. We make salad dressings, we make mayonnaise, we make pickles. There's about 3,000 products in total in the overall company portfolio. We sell about 100 of them here in the UK. So there's lots and lots of opportunities for us to keep growing. Lots of opportunity in the new factory for us to launch new products as well, things we haven't even thought about yet, and certainly that consumers haven't even realized that they need. And it's quite staggering, really, even 30 years later, 75% of all British households still don't eat pesto. So I find that a really amazing number, but a very, very exciting one, because that is still the potential. We call it the headroom that we've got for the growth of the business. So the most important thing, with bearing in mind that number, only 25% of households in the UK eat pesto. our job is to keep educating people and to keep spreading the word about Sacla. And Lauren is just going to play us our TV advert that we ran this summer, and that was focused on telling people what to do with pesto, because it's a very, very versatile product.
Hey mambo, mambo italiano. Hey mambo, mambo italiano. Go, go, go. Next stop Siciliano. All you Calabreses do the mambo like a crazy one. Hey mambo, mambo italiano. Hey mambo, mambo italiano. Mambo italiano. Sacla, truly, madly, deeply Italian.
There you go. You'll be singing that all day now. I certainly shall. It's very, very catchy music. It did really well for us. It was on air for a couple of months over the summer. We managed to make that ad in just 4 weeks, which to make a TV ad with that speed is quite incredible. And during lockdown as well. So we managed to pull the ad together, ran it for a couple of months over the summer, and that's helped drive our sales to about £30 million this year. So we're still quite a small business, as I said, with lots and lots of potential for growth and lots of ambition. So I just wanted to put this slide up. This is one of the other things that we've been working on during lockdown. And it was a really, really good opportunity for us to think about our corporate social responsibility. We call it responsibilità, because that's the Italian word for responsibility. But this is all about, the sort of the ethics, if you like, and the beliefs of the business. And it's so, so important. We've got all these opportunities for growth, but actually a brand who doesn't embrace some of these responsibilities will ultimately start to decline, because your generation in particular is passionate about looking after the planet and leaving the world in a better place. So we have spent a lot of time working on our corporate social responsibility. Mariana and Amber have been leading that. It will go live on our website in the next few weeks, so you'll be able to see the updated version of it. But the promise, if you like, or our main responsibility is that we want to transform the food lives of future generations for the better. And that's why this sponsorship and scholarship program is so important to us. It's about how we can make a difference to the food lives of future generations. And our focus is on people, is on the planet, and is on physical health. We all need to look after our health. So we're going to have a wonderful new nutritionist starting work with us, an in-house nutritionist to help share hints and tips on the wonderful Mediterranean diet. We've got lots and lots of planet initiatives. All our lines in Italy are powered by the Italian sunshine. So we've got enough solar panels to be able to power the factory lines. And obviously people, really, really important for us. And that's a very, very broad team of people who help get Sacla products onto the supermarket shelves. There's actually 20 of us in the UK office. There's about 150 people in the factory in Italy, but 20 people here in the UK. Not a very big number, it's a small team. So there's a real feeling of family. We've got support from advertising agencies and media agencies and distribution people who ship the product around the country for us. So there are lots of people helping us, but a core small team. And for you, that's a very unique opportunity, because you get to see a whole business, how a whole business works. You wouldn't just be working in a silo of, say, sales. You get that overview of the business and how it functions. It means there's no hiding. You get a lot of exposure, you get a lot of experience and a lot of opportunity. I'm very proud of the fact that we're a very diverse team. We've got a great mix of ages and nationalities. You've met Mariana, who's Italian. We've got another couple of Italians. We've got an amazing Russian lady, a Greek gentleman. We are a lot of women, actually, unusually. But that's not conscious. It's just kind of happened that way, really. And we have a lot of fun together. And the most important thing is that the fun underpins the core beliefs of the business. And the core beliefs of the business are that food is joy, Italians do it best, and it's better together. And those three things all add up to the overall Sacla promise, which is making people's food lives better. So that's a real whistle-stop intro to Sacla. I could say so much more, but
thank you, Claire. No, I think that was amazing, and that song was stuck in my head last week after the advert, after I watched that and checked the slides and stuff. So yeah, it's catchy for sure. Okay, so we will go back to the other ones again. Bear with me, gang. Okay, so everybody, there are 2 scholarships available. Bear with me, go back to the right slide. Oh. Okay, and with £5,000 per year for a maximum of 3 years while studying your degree. Work experience opportunities available with Sacla, and contact and support from us and the Sacla team. So this is just an incredible opportunity. And you know, as Claire said earlier, to those of you who've joined, well done for joining. You know, it's a no-brainer to me why you wouldn't join, to hear more about it. To apply, you need to be studying a degree starting in September next year. And your degree subject needs to be a management degree and or linked to food. So I think, as you guys have probably, you know, gathered now, there needs to be a genuine and real passion for food. You know, I definitely have it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always thinking about my next meal whilst eating my current meal. So I'm always thinking, I'm eating my breakfast, what can I have for lunch? What can I have for dinner? So I think that's really important for those of you interested in applying, that you have to have that passion for food. The application process. So for this, you need to apply by submitting your CV and answering this question about why are you interested in the scholarship and why you think you would be a good candidate. Now, we know that you may not have lots to put on your CV right now, and that's okay. You know, we understand you're not at the point where you'll have lots of work experience necessarily, but it just is quite helpful for you to put together your CV anyway, because you will have to at some point. And it will help us to understand who you are as a person, and what maybe your aspirations are after college. And answering that question is obviously, again, a no-brainer. It will really help us to understand what it is about this opportunity that excites you and why you would be the best person to take it up. Your deadline for the first stage application is the 8th of January, and you need to submit your CV and answer to the question to your tutor at the college. Again, please check with me directly if you need confirmation for who your college tutor contact is, and I can give you that. Between January and 28th of Feb is when Working Options will review the first stage applications and shortlist those that we think are ready for the second stage interview. Then between March and May, the second stage interviews with Sacla and one of us from Working Options will take place. And then by the 7th of June, the winners will be notified and announced. And then over the summer, we will obviously make sure that paperwork is organised between you, your parent guardian and Sacla, so that everybody's really clear on what's expected. Then you will receive your results and university place confirmation. And then in September, provided everything is okay and as planned, you will start the scholarship officially, if you like. And then payments will start to be made. And then T's and C's. So obviously this is an amazing opportunity. And actually, you know, Sacla are kind of giving their time and support to you. And so in return, you guys need to be committed and offer your support. So we ask that there's a minimum of 2 weeks work experience with Sacla completed at some point between kind of getting the scholarship and the end of your first year of university. Obviously that can be flexible between Sacla and the winning students, depending on your schedules and Sacla's needs as a business. but that would be something that you would do, and it would be great as well, because again, Amber, I'm sure, will tell you what great fun she's had doing work experience and how invaluable that's been. You will act as a brand ambassador for Sacla during your time at university and promote the products and your experience of the scholarship programme. I'm pretty sure there'll be lots of tasting involved with that as well, which will be nice. So you'll get some products sent to you, I'm sure, to kind of cook some meals with friends and show the different ways that you can use the pesto in the different products. You'll act as a youth ambassador for us and keep in contact about your progress. So each term you'll have to submit a report from a university tutor to tell us about your progress and how you're getting on. And we ask that you maintain at least a 90% attendance level at university as well. So you'll see in here, there aren't any grade expectations. So nobody is asking you to, you know, be the absolute top of your class in terms of, you know, kind of A stars or whatever it might be across the board. I think for Sacla, what's important is actually your commitment and your genuine passion for, you know, the business, for food industry, and just that really is paramount, and giving it your absolute best, you know. So please don't worry if you're not overly confident about your academic ability. I know that some of you, I think, are thinking you're not worthy of the scholarship. You absolutely are. This is what this is all about, is saying to you, you are worth it, and Sacla want to invest in you. So don't not give yourself the opportunity. Apply with gusto, apply with, you know, everything you've got, and see what happens. You never know. And so now,
can I just say that?
Go for it. Yeah.
Can I just say, I mean, I think, you know, one of the things that we always say in the business is that you recruit, or you hire attitude, and you teach function. So, you know, you need to just present a real passion and an enthusiasm. And as I said, that number one word, curiosity, just be really, really curious, because this experience, even if you're not successful, this is a really, really great experience of, you know, for application and for interviews. So yeah, please embrace the opportunity. We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, Claire. And now, Amber, I'm just going to hand over to you to kind of talk through your experience of, so you take yourself back to when you were in the students who are watching's position at sixth form, and, you know, how you heard about the Sacla scholarship opportunity and what your thoughts were, and yeah, just talk us through it, Amber, a little bit, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Just before that, we've had a question come in to do with applications, saying, I'm doing a foundation year in science before I do my dietetics degree. Will I be able to apply for this scholarship?
Okay, so I would say yes. If you're going, so just if that person could maybe make it clearer whether are you going to study your degree in September next year? And if so, then yes, you're able to apply, I think, to be honest. So I don't know.
It's a foundation year, Lauren, in science before going on to do dietetics. So I would definitely say that's open.
Yeah, for sure. That's what, yeah, that's what we mean, guys. So if you, the kind of main criteria really is that you're going on to study a degree starting in September 2021. So yeah, absolutely. Hopefully that's answered that.
I just thought I'd get that answered before.
Yeah, no, thank you for that.
So I've always had a massive love and passion for food. My mum always quite happily tell you that as soon as I could stand up, I was at the kitchen table trying to help her make cakes and things. I've just always loved it. And for that reason, I went on did catering hospitality at GCSE. And that was actually part of the reason that I chose the secondary school that I did, because they did a specific course and it was more hands-on cooking rather than food tech and design side of things. So I was always looking at being a chef, specifically a pastry chef. I've always loved pastry and baking, and it's just always been something I've really enjoyed. And there was one day where my catering teacher actually took me aside and said, look, actually, I'm not sure being a chef is going to suit you. What are your science grades like? And I said to her, yeah, you know, they're doing all right. I quite enjoy it. It's not too bad. And she told me to go and have a look at food science as an alternative option to get into the food industry. Because I hadn't really considered any other way to get into the food industry other than being a chef, because that is the obvious route. So I went back and I had a look at that, and I did some research in it. And I was looking through the different universities and the different courses and things, and actually all of a sudden it felt like a light bulb went on. It was like, hold on, actually, this is exactly what I want to do. This sounds really exciting, and this is the right way for me to go as opposed to being a chef. And on the back of that, I then went to college. I went to Henley College and did my A-levels and made sure that I'd chosen the right A-levels to be able to go and do food science, which I might have otherwise chosen different A-levels. So having that direction really helped me. Whilst I was at Henley College, there was Sacla had put up flyers around college, and they were doing a talk offering a scholarship. And I was really nervous about going to the talk, but I did go, and actually my dad bribed me with chocolate to make sure that I would go because I was so nervous about going. But I did go, and I went up and I asked a couple of questions and I filled in the application form for it. And I went through the application process. I had to do an answer to a question very similar to you, where it was just kind of a paragraph. Why are you passionate about food? Why do you think you'd be a good candidate? Off the top of my head, it was similar sort of lines. So I then got through to the second stage where I had to go and do a presentation about up and coming food trends. And this was in front of someone from Working Options. It was in front of Claire and Mariana, and also someone from Henley College. Now, I'm not a big person for public speaking and doing presentations, and I was absolutely filled with nerves. I could feel my hands shaking. I was terrified at the idea of doing it. But I got up, took a deep breath, and I did it. And I'm so glad that I did. It worked out really well for me. And that feeling of accomplishment, knowing that I was so scared to get up and do that presentation, that when it was over, I thought, okay, I've done it. I can do this. Because it is something you'll have to do in the future, potentially. And it is something I've had to do at university and try and get a bit more used to. And when it came down to it, I got given the scholarship. I was absolutely thrilled. Because apart from anything, the work experience was really invaluable. And it's given me really good links with a great company, as you can tell, because I'm still there now. So over the summers, both before and during my degree, I've gone back almost every summer and done 2 or 3 weeks work experience with them, specifically with Mariana in technical and new product development. And I also went back last year at Christmas, which was really great because that was gave it a slightly different feel. And we had new products coming up on the website, and went outside one day and we were giving samples of panettone out to different people. And we had the offices open one day as a Christmas shop, and we were getting people involved. And just the whole Christmas spirit of it was really lovely and really enjoyable. So I've done a variety of different things whilst I've been at Sacla. One of the big favourites is always sampling different products. You can get to see what new things are coming through, where we're altering things, changing things, checking the quality. So it's always fun to be trying out different products, and also arranging for everybody else in the office to try them as well, and to get their feedback and see what everybody else thinks. So I've also had to contact our suppliers, making sure that we've got all the correct information with them, and start building relationships with different suppliers that we work with. I get to have access to all the product specifications, because every product that is made or that we have in our repertoire, there has to be a product specification to say, okay, these are all the ingredients on it. This is the information that should be on the website. This is how it should be stored. This is how it should be cooked. And part of my job is to make sure that we have all that information is correct. I've also done things like benchmarking. So it's where we take our products and have a look and see if they're kind of in the same range as other products in the same category. So looking at price, nutrition, sometimes just like the look of them and the labels, seeing, okay, are we being competitive? Also, one of my main jobs that I do at the moment, and I've done in the past, is labelling legislation. So it's making sure that everything that we say on the labels of our products is legally correct, making sure things like any allergens are labelled in bold, and making sure that any information that we're relaying back to the customer is correct, because that's really important. I've also been working on packaging reviews, so sending to the retailers what packaging we use, what amounts we use it in, and that comes into the corporate social responsibility, both for us and for them, because it makes sure that we're reviewing what packaging we're using. Is it recyclable, compostable, things like that. So I also deal with the customer complaints and any queries that they may have about our products. So things like, is this product vegetarian? What exactly is this ingredient? Does it contain this or that? And making sure that I'm really polite in talking to them, making sure that any questions are answered coherently, and just making sure that they're satisfied with the outcome. And if they've had an issue with our product, to make sure that we take the appropriate response with them. And then finally, my big thing that I've been working on, and I'm starting to work on at the moment, is Brexit, with different import and export tariffs. And we're bringing in, there are different codes depending on different products. So I'm working on compiling a list of all of that together. But one of the big things the work experience has given me is definitely confidence. I'm sure Mariana and Claire will have seen a big difference from when they first saw me back in 2016 to now. There's definitely been a lot of development and a lot of growth there. But also it does show you how things link into the real world. And particularly as I was going through university, I can take something that I've learned at university and then I've been using it at Sacla, and it really kind of links between, okay, so actually I'm learning this because it needs to be used in this context, and this is how it's going to relate into the real world. And I think just having those links through actually also really helps you through university, and you know that what you're learning is applicable to the real world. So I've definitely done a lot with the company, and they've always been a really lovely company. Whenever I've gone in, people have had smiles on their faces. They've happily greeted me. They've asked, oh, how are you doing? It's so nice to see you again. And that atmosphere has always been really lovely to be able to walk into. And then on finishing my degree at this end of the summer, I got a call from Mariana to offer me a full-time position with Sacla, which I had absolutely no hesitations in taking up at all. And so I've been back there since the beginning of September. So the last couple of months now, I've been really enjoying it. And it has been a bit of a different experience having to work from home, but managing through that, and it's been working really well. And I've really loved being part of the company and will continue to be.
Thank you so much, Amber. And I think, again, you've just given a great overview of the feeling of being at Sacla, the support that you get, which is second to none. And, you know, Amber, to talk to us about what it's like for a typical grad now. So you've recently graduated, you know, what did that feel like to be offered a job before you even...
That felt amazing. Especially to have Mariana call me personally and offer me a job was really great. And to be able to say to people, especially in current situation, and like, okay, what you do now? Actually, I can go like, oh, actually a company that I know actually called me personally to ask if I wanted a job with them. And that's kind of a real sense of pride. That they've seen that in me, and that they've wanted me to go back with them, and that I've been able to have the skills to be able to work with them and hopefully grow with the company as well.
Yeah.
I've learned something this morning. I didn't realize you were quite so nervous when you did your interview, Amber.
I was
And
absolutely petrified.
Unbelievable. So really, really, amazing how you stepped yourself outside of your comfort zone.
Public speaking has never been a strong point for me. And even doing presentations at uni when we're standing in front of the lectures, and I know everybody there, but my hands are still shaking. And it's never been a strong suit of mine, but it's one of those things that I've tried to do and tried to improve upon over the years. But yeah, I was absolutely terrified of doing that presentation.
Wow, there you go. Shows what you have to do, doesn't it? Hey, stepping outside that comfort zone. Yeah, you did brilliantly.
Definitely. So we've got a good question. So gang, please feel free now to start sending through any questions that you might have. So what areas of the business is the work experience done in? So for example, accounting or marketing, how does it work, Claire and Mariana, in terms of work experience?
Do you want to take that one, Mary?
Yeah, well, we are a small team. Anyway, like Claire said, we are 20 people in the office and we have different departments. Of course, we have marketing, we have sales, new product development and technical and finance. So it depends what projects are going on. The person can experience a bit of all the different areas and departments that we have. We tend to mainly with Amber, but in general, we will start with new product development and the technical area because it's quite interesting and is relevant for our products. But I guess, as I said, because we are a small team, the person can experience within the 2 weeks all the different departments, and certainly interact with everybody within the team and talk to to all the different people that we have at Sacla.
Yeah. And I think it's worth highlighting that on your application, what area of interest of business that you particularly have, because that's something that we can always consider. We're small enough to be able to do that. I think being helped by Mariana would be good for anybody because she's the most amazing teacher, isn't she, Amber?
Yeah.
So
definitely.
so it's if you've got that food interest, but if you've got a food marketing, food sales interest, again, don't think this isn't for you. We're open to all sorts of applications.
And what kinds of I guess, Claire, as a business, a food business, what kind of movements in terms of careers have people made, or can you? So Amber's now in new product development, just for people who aren't as aware maybe of the industry in general, what kinds of career paths are there and opportunities?
Yeah, I think obviously we're mainly sales and marketing in the UK because we don't do any manufacturing here. All our manufacturing is done, as I said, in Italy. So we are importers of the foods, which means we've got a logistics function that's about getting products here into the UK and then getting them from the warehouse in the UK to the customer's supermarket shelves. So that's sort of logistics and operations. We have a sales function, so that's obviously taking the products out to people like Tesco and Sainsbury's and persuading them that they need to stock the product. And there's a very technical term, it's called category management, but it's about how a retailer can make the most money from the supermarket shelf that they've got so that they're relevant to consumers and they can sell the best amount of product. So you've got sales and category management. Then you obviously have marketing, and that's all about how we talk to the consumer, so the shopper, to the person who's going to be using the product and cooking with it. So that's the consumer, and that's the marketing function. And within marketing, you've got PR, you've got advertising, you've got research. So there are lots and lots of strands in marketing. And that's my particular passion, is about how you persuade and encourage consumers, but lots of psychology going on in there too. Then obviously we have the technical and product function that Amber and Mariana have talked about, but that's about being compliant with the law, making sure primarily, first and foremost, that those products are fit for human consumption, that you're not going to kill anybody, and then what you're going to see on the shelf next. And I tell you, the buzz from seeing a product that you've dreamt up in your head, to seeing that go onto a shelf, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's real legacy stuff. Then we have a finance function, obviously controlling all the money that comes in and goes out and goes back to the parent to pay for the product and pays salaries. And our finance function does a lot of analysis, so it looks for patterns in how we've sold things. So, we've sold a lot of that product, and then it relates back to the marketing, what impact the marketing had on those particular sales. So lots of analysis. Have I missed it? Obviously, we have admin. So we have some admin support. And then I think the final, I'm walking around the office in my head now trying to think, but we've also just launched an e-com site, which is really, really exciting. There's been some phenomenal growth in online shopping during lockdown. I heard a number the other day, which I think really surprises me. So before the lockdown, Tesco used to sell 13% of their products online. And now, during lockdown, or since lockdowns happened in COVID, 24% of Tesco sales are online. It's a quarter of their sales. So they say you've got to be in it to win it, don't they? So we've launched our online shop, and that is a really big growth opportunity for us, but it's a very different skill set, because it's you've got to be very digitally literate. So did I miss any functions, Mary? Did I cover them all?
No, I think you covered.
I covered them all.
Supply chain.
Lots of diversity, and there's lots of cross functionality in the business. So sales talk to finance, finance talk to marketing, marketing talk to MPD. There's lots and lots of interaction.
Like Claire said, because we are a very small team, we're very exposed. Every role can interact and support all the different roles, which is really great.
And that's the thing. I mean, there's loads of different opportunities, I think, is what the point I was trying to make by asking that question, Claire, is, there's a wealth of opportunities within the food industry. And it's exciting, people always need to eat. So, it's that, and you're potentially involved in shaping and deciding what products people get access to. So another question has come in now. A couple of students from my class have asked that if they're going to study a degree in marketing that is standalone, so just a marketing degree, would they qualify to apply for this opportunity? As they thought it is only available for people that are doing business management or a food related degree. So standalone marketing degree, would we accept applications?
I think from my point of view, we're on a mission to transform the food lives for future generations, to help students get a career in food. And so, I would say, yes, we would consider it. But what you need to remember is that the scholarship is going to be awarded to somebody with a real passion and interest in food.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of doing a marketing degree, but you have this absolute obsession with great food, then, you may well qualify, but you won't, you've got to have an interest in food.
Yeah.
To be able to get through this process, I would say. It's no good thinking that you might do marketing because you want to work in financial investment. I'm not sure that would be what we were looking for.
Yeah, no, agreed. And I think as part of the application process, guys, you will be asked to demonstrate your passion for food. So as part of the second stage, if you were successful from the first stage application, as Amber said earlier, she had to do a presentation on, what food trends were up and coming, for example, or you might be asked to talk about a Sacla product and how you would use it to, you know, as part of a meal, or there'll be a number of ways that we might ask you to do something, but it will be asking for you to demonstrate your passion and genuine interest in food. So go for it if you have that, but if not, I think it will show. So that's what I would say. Something I wanted to ask you guys, what kind of personality or skills, qualities in a candidate would you look for? What key, maybe 3 key things do you think makes a Sacla star, a Sacla superstar?
That's quite a hard question, because I think we're all sorts, aren't we? And diversity in terms of personality and the way people think is really, really important, because you need all sorts of attitudes and mindsets to make something work. Mariana and I are very, very complementary. When we work together on projects, I would say I've known Mariana's been with us. How long is it? 15 years, Mariana?
Yeah, 14 years. Yeah,
14 years. So we've worked together a long time, and we're very different, and that's what makes it work. Mariana has a great attention to detail, and I don't, I'm afraid. I don't think we would want to be too specific. I think for me, and I've made reference to it a few times, you just need to be a curious individual. You need to be hardworking. I talk a lot about inspiration and perspiration, so you can have great ideas and you can be a very creative person, but you've got to be able to put in the hard yards to actually deliver. So inspiration, perspiration, and curiosity would be the headlines for me, really. Be very curious. What would you say, Mariana, Amber? Would you build on that?
Yeah, I think I would be like passion for what you do, love what you're doing, and commitment to the team, because we are a family, so we support each other, and so commitment, I think, is quite important for us as well.
And loyalty, hey, Mariana, 14 years, nice.
Yeah.
What I would just say on that point is, if you're struggling with confidence, or if you're quite a shy person or quite a quiet person, don't let that discourage you, because I've always been quite like that as well. I was always the quiet person. Every comment, every parents' evening was, she doesn't talk, she's too quiet. So if you're worried about any of that, don't let it stop you from applying, because those sorts of things come in time, and they also come with experience, which is what this scholarship is all about. It's about providing that experience.
Thank you, Amber. And I think that is important, not at any point, just to re-emphasize, has it been said you have to achieve certain grades, or you have, it's not what, you have to do your best, your genuine best. And again, not everybody is super academically bright, and like Claire was saying, everybody has their different skill sets and different qualities that they bring to the team. So, just make sure you're thinking about what is it that you are going to bring that would bring something new or different, or, strengthen the Sacla team. And don't worry so much about if you haven't got, the top GCSE grades or the top whatever grades. If you genuinely are going to uni, you want to just apply. Please do apply, because what's the worst that can happen is what I would ask yourself. And we will provide feedback for you. On every application, we will provide some feedback as to whether you've been successful or not. And because, as we said, it is important that you get that as part of the application process, because it's another thing under your belt. So, well, thank you so much to all of you for joining this morning and talking about the amazing opportunity. And thank you to those of you who have kind of joined in with the webinar. As I said, the key things to remember: the application date for the first stage is the 8th of January next year. So you've got plenty of time to put your CVs together and answer the question. My tips for you would be: do some research. on Sacla. Claire gave you lots of helpful bits of information there when she covered it, but do a bit of research on Sacla outside of this as part of answering your question. And yeah, good luck to everybody who applies, and have a great Christmas, and same to you guys, because we'll probably talk beforehand, but yeah, everybody stay safe, as safe as can be. And if there are any other questions, please contact me, guys, after this webinar, and I can help answer them. And if not, I can ask Mariana, I'm sure, for extra information. So thank you very much to everybody for joining, and take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.